Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to another edition of Marketing Insights. And right from around the world, if you're watching this live, say something. If not, well, whatever. Maybe leave a comment or something like that. Let's start off with those so we don't have to say them so much at the end. All right, like stuff, subscribe to stuff. Today, I'm going to talk about crypto e-commerce and marketing, and the different areas of crypto e-commerce marketing that are happening right now, including some fascinating use cases that are really improving the way that things get marketed online, and also non-crypto related, but still new or cutting-edge e-commerce and marketing techniques that are using technologies that are already around since some years and are undergoing massive changes. And those are more and more moving towards blockchain related stuff as well. But even the ones that aren't are making massive inroads with these changes that are impacting the way marketers market things, the way consumers buy things, sell things, trade things. And it is making a significant impact on the way basically business is done online, right? Or with the internet as some part of that chain. So it's important to remember in crypto marketing that, and in regular marketing, I guess, or regular digital marketing, that what we have as an advantage over, let's say, traditional offline marketing that has nothing to do with online, we have massive amounts of data, right? And with that data, we're able to learn a lot and to deliver targeted marketing, right? You've all seen specific ads for whatever it is you happen to like very much, that you have then been targeted by Google ads, Facebook ads, advertisers doing new ads on you, remarketing ads, etc. And they're targeting you more and more using some kinds of, business information, business insights, business intelligence, whatever you want to call it. They're looking at data that's coming through the wire or the wireless wire to their servers, and they're looking at, views, clicks, revenues, average sale order, average order quantity, average number of items in the cart, how many abandoned carts there are, etc. They're looking at the elasticity of the price to see whether or not consumers are looking to buy goods or services at a fixed price, changing price, what is the value of the product being sold, what's the lifetime value of the customer, etc. And that data allows advertisers really and marketers to hone in and focus in on super laser focused groups, right? So if you're selling, I don't care, Chihuahua sweaters for Chihuahuas made in Norway, I don't know. It's got to be somebody doing that, maybe not. But hey, if not, it's a niche, I promise. There's people looking for their passions, and they're crossing it over with the profitable, the profit center for that niche, right? So you got people are crazy about dogs, not just dogs, they're crazy about Chihuahuas, and they're crazy about accessories for their Chihuahuas, right? They're willing to pay, a fair amount for those accessories for their Chihuahuas. I don't know why I mentioned Chihuahuas. It seems like so 2005 or something. But anyway, I love Chihuahuas and all other dogs. And the point is that by finding this intersect, any marketer can target any group of consumers and make marketing grow for the brand. So one of the ways that we do that, and this is sort of the meat and potatoes of where we're at now, I'll mention after I say this ad is not sponsored by anyone or nothing, or this moment is not sponsored by anyone. This is a commercial-free edition. And again, if you like what you're learning from us, check out yashaharari.com. If you think we're a useful marketing service for you, I produce this blog as a way to get the word out about not just our agency, but also as a way to actually teach you what you're learning here, and that you can share it with other people. So stay, around if you find it useful. If not, hey, thanks for coming by anyway. Now let's get back to the topic real quick, which is crypto e-commerce and marketing. And one of the ways that we manipulate the data as marketers is artificial intelligence. Some people, say, well, artificial intelligence, it's very vague. What does that mean? Well, there's all kinds of artificial intelligence, and all of them are valid, and some are better than others. Some of them are weak, and some of them are strong. And you know that if you listen to this blog or podcast, I've recently interviewed an expert on the topic, right? If you know who Magnus Unnemer is, then you probably have read his books or seen his work online, or maybe you heard his interview on my podcast. And Magnus is a terrific example of somebody who understands the vision and the positive impact that AI can make on marketing. And as such, he's focused a lot of time and attention on that. And there are tons of other people and, experts and technicians who do this. There are also companies, entire, large organizations filled with many people who are just working on AI of all different kinds. You've got AI in security, you've got AI in retail, you've got AI in any kind of number of travel and lodging and everything. Every industry that's touching data is more and more getting involved with using artificial intelligence of some kind to manipulate that data and to bring a better experience to the consumer. Now, one of the ways they do that, right, is to personalize the funnel, right? To personalize the content that you see. Maybe you're not even building, maybe you're like Gary Vee or something, and you don't believe in building traditional funnels, right? You just want, I'm just gonna put out content, tons of content, good content, let people find it, let people go through it, and they're gonna, because of good karma, the whole cycle is gonna work, and they're gonna, magnetize to what I'm offering them, and then X% of them will buy my products, and I will have, millions of dollars of revenue per year selling these books or these videos or these courses or whatever, and these advertising services and marketing services and social media services. That's great. That's one, but that is a kind of funnel, right? That's the swarm funnel. That's the chaos funnel, if you will, but it's not really chaotic. It's very well organized and planned in a very strategic way, just not in a traditional pyramid or silo or shape that people are common with. But by using AI to personalize the experience of the content, you're not just focusing on targeting the user by their name, age, location, gender, number of shoes they bought online with their wallet or whatever. And by the way, don't ever keep digital wallets on your phone. Very bad idea unless you know how to protect your phone, and very few people do. Even if they have those little safety cards, they still don't do it right. So never keep crypto wallets on your phone or anything like that. But do enable purchasing, right? Do find ways to use your online purchasing power to get the most of it as a consumer, and as a marketer, come to the consumer offering the most channels available, for them to pay to you. So that does include offering them online wallets, even though you should do every effort to keep them ultra safe if you're an online marketer. And again, more about the personalization experience is when you personalize the content, you're really able to narrow down and drill down to very specific things that are super, super long tail. Maybe 5, 7, 9, 12 word long tails, right? Really long tail. I'm looking for the best Ferrari tires that I can buy, or I'm looking for the best, what are they? I don't know. I'm looking for the best TP-Link router for my Wi-Fi network at home, right? A very common product people might buy. Or I'm looking for the best router repeater, right? So that I can extend the strength of my network across my office, right? Okay, so then those long-term, where do I find the best and cheapest TP-Link router? Where do I find the best and cheapest, 8x8 telephone VoIP device? Whatever you're looking for in the long term, as questions that your consumers might ask, right? You want to have AI that personalizes that experience, not just on their search questions, but on their search actions, right? Because their search actions are all part of the long tail experience, because they might be clicking on words, buttons, videos, audio files, whatever. Those clicks may also translate into additional text that is searchable by an algorithm, right? So we know if you clicked on this function, then you're looking for something about cotton sweaters made in Norway or whatever. Did I say Norway twice already? Anyway, and if you click on this other button, then you're looking for ways to send gifts to your grandma for under $50 or whatever for her birthday. Okay, or who knows what you're looking for? Maybe your budget content. Maybe you're looking for nice gifts to buy grandma over $1,000, right? Because maybe you have some money and you're doing well in life and you want to show some appreciation to grandma. Wonderful. So all these different clicks that you have on a button might not even have any typing involved, but it still will allow the marketer to personalize the experience because they know what the funnel is that you're going through. They built it after all, and they know how to optimize that data, right? And what that means is if you're a marketer, you deliver personalized content, you reach, yes, a smaller audience per topic, but a much more profitable audience per topic because they're much more likely to convert if the quality of your content is high as opposed to if it's poor, right? It's just, I think that's very obvious if you think about it for a second. If you give people garbage content that's not actionable, that it doesn't work or whatever, is problematic, it's sticky, it's slow, it doesn't, it's complicated, people won't do it. If you give them something that's smooth, fast, easy, especially fast, speedy is super important, but smooth, fast, easy, and high quality, well written, well documented, well produced, high content value, right? Then people will convert. That's just normal. So by using AI and personalization, right, you then get to the point where you're talking about monetization. Monetization is, cashing out, if you will, make it, exploiting the available money that's available on the table right now by offering the products that are exactly suited to what your users want. And if you think about it, this is what Google does, and this is what Facebook does, and this is what Instagram does, and this is what all of these companies do. They're bringing you massive amounts of content for free, right? If you're a producer of the content, you're getting massive amounts of exposure for free if you know how to do that. And you're able to expose brands to users that are specifically targeted to match their exact interests, right? And you've heard it over and over again, I'm sure. But think about it. The devices you're using, the phone, the laptop, the tablet, the desktop station, doesn't matter what computer device you're on. They're all collecting so much information about you. They literally know more about you than you do, right? And that's one of the reasons people feel so paranoid about all the privacy stuff, because all these companies know more about them than they do, and they feel like they're being used, right? They're being suckered to buy stuff constantly, and they just feel like they have no control, and they don't like it. But the real reason that they don't like it has nothing to do with privacy at all, actually. Yeah, maybe some cases, absolutely, I'm a big privacy fan, and yes, some cases do have legitimate concerns. Security is a big one. But aside from security or national security or international security affairs issues, the real reason people don't like all this marketing stuff is because it shows to them, it reflects to them who they are, what they're doing, what they're spending their time doing, right? What their actions really are. Because you might think to yourself, yeah, I'm a high level, accountant, and I know how to do accounting extremely well, and I have a very square life, and I'm in the norm, right? But if you actually look at that accountant's personal search browsing, you'll probably find all kinds of searches or things that he wouldn't or she wouldn't want to share in public. And that's perfectly normal when you do so much of your life online, that there's a lot of things you do that are private and that you don't want to expose. And that's just normal. It has nothing to do with real privacy concerns that what Apple's going to sell your the knowledge of the fact that, that you're into fetish stuff or who knows what, right? Or you're into strange games, or you're into weird cosplay stuff. You're into geekiest things you can imagine that you'd be embarrassed about if anybody knew. What do you think they're going to do? Take that and blackmail you with that? No, right? They're going to take that. Google's going to take that information. Facebook's going to take that information. The sites that you visit are going to take that information and target you with relevant ads that you actually find interesting. The problem is, are they going to show that to you at an embarrassing time? Are they going to show that to you in an embarrassing way? Or are they going to make the experience for you uncomfortable? And if they do, then they should rethink their model, because they're not in the business of making people uncomfortable. They're in the business of making people use their services that are free in order to exploit, the knowledge about those people and convert that into cash. And that's what they do. That's what they live on. The knowledge they have about you. That's all they have. That's the only property they own, is what they know about you based on your actions. So when marketers look at marketing any kind of product, whether it's crypto or not, but especially with crypto, the data advantage for marketers is tremendous. And it would be I would say, a fool's gambit to try to avoid that by trying to say that's not going to happen. People aren't going to use AI as a standard. If you think people want to use AI as a standard because it's complicated to implement now, and by the way, it's not so complicated anymore. If you think personalization is going to be not a standard because it's too complicated or costly right now, and by the way, it's not so personally, it's not so expensive, it's not so complicated. Look at personali.com. That's, at PERSONALI.com, personali.com. I mean, they're amazing, right? They absolutely help brands to reach the right audiences using ingenious software that does personalization and does price optimization and increases things like customer loyalty and increases things like lifetime revenue cycles and retail cycles, all by artificial intelligence, right? And if you look at, I don't want to mention the security companies, but there's a lot of security companies that are out there right now. I'm not talking about McAfee's old, or McAfee's old antivirus software. I'm talking about artificial intelligence software security companies. There's a whole bunch of them that are out there that are doing AI in different versions. The most elite ones consider themselves to be doing deep learning, which is a whole different form of learning the data about viruses and malware and bad things on day zero, right, or even before 0 day, so that they can catch them and be ready for them by the time they actually hit. They're using deep learning. They're using advanced, strong AI really to connect the dots that are not so obvious when you use traditional models. That allows them to make the experience for their customers better because they're personalizing the experience and saying, we're going to protect you with the devices you have from the things that are affecting your type of devices, right? And you may not even need the package that protects everything else because you don't have those devices. What do you care, right? But they're going to make sure that personalization affects you in the best possible way. That will allow them to increase their ROI by upselling you with better products. You can do the same thing for your own. Doesn't matter what you're selling. Another great example is this new cryptocurrency. Actually, I've taken the marketing lead role for, at least for the time being. I'm happy to help them out. They're called EthLyte, right? EthLyte.tech. EthLyte.tech. And EthLyte has a cryptocurrency token, and they are, in the stage where they're still raising funds and getting the word out, and they're really starting to ramp up the package about what they're doing. But their big strength and their differentiator is that they're making real purchases in real stores available on things like credit cards, debit card, type purchase cards, and gift cards, right? And those are funded by, on the backside, their cryptocurrency, right? So you can buy their tokens, stick them on their cards, go to a real shop, pay in dollars, euros, yen, whatever you have locally, and you've got yourself a crypto transaction that is received by the store as crypto or fiat, right? They can take it as crypto or they can take it as fiat. You can do that for insurance services, escrow services, peer-to-peer loans, microloans, whatever, MCA type stuff, payday loans. There's all kinds of products you can market with crypto that will help you convert the bridge or bring users across the bridge from fiat to currency and back easily without any friction, removing a bunch of middlemen, a whole lot of fees, keeping more of the money in the hands of the actual owners, but also keeping more of an ROI in the hands of the marketers who are spending less on all those additional layers of fees. So, and by the way, so EthLyte gift cards, for example, are an example of how crypto is going to use the data and the intelligence gathered from that data and the insights gathered from that data and the machine learning gathered from that data and the optimization gathered from all of that data to produce a better user experience when you go into the real world with a digital product that is connected to a digital currency that is born online and is all about data collection and is all about, the marketing part of all of it is all about data collection and aggregating information and learning from the user experience. It's really not very different from Google or Facebook in that sense. Sure, there's scale. New companies are tiny. Google and Facebook and Pinterest and all those, they're huge companies, right? But it doesn't matter. If you have a good AI product, you can very quickly grow from a startup sitting in your bedroom with your laptop to a massive enterprise within a couple of years. Look at Wish. Wish, right? Do you know Wish? It's an e-commerce site. It's a lot like eBay or Amazon or Ali, right? AliExpress, where you go online. It's really more like AliExpress, where you're buying stuff for very cheap, right? And it's getting delivered to you takes a little while, maybe longer than if you bought it. Definitely longer than if you bought it on Amazon or eBay. Although sometimes they have very fast deliveries. It depends where you live, and what the product is being shipped, etc. But Wish was started by a bunch of Googlers, basically ex-Googlers, and they decided to make a retail model because it's very profitable. Retail online, arbitrage of retail is very profitable. And they focused entirely on that. And all they do, right, is, I think everyone knows this, I'm pretty sure, because if you've ever heard of Wish, the only place you would have seen them in the last few years, until very recently, is Facebook. And very recently, I think in the last year, maybe the last year or so, 8 months even, they started to run like ads in real world experiences. They have branding in different sports matches. They have, they're getting the name out there because they've already done, they've gotten their sales to billions of dollars or whatever it is, massive amount of sales, massive amount of company. They've grabbed the land available. They didn't leave the money sitting on the table. They said, okay, we're going to use the technology we have today in order to grab this, property, expand our business to scale that we need, and then we can try the new things as well, right? But from the start, they were using a very simple pattern. But that very simple pattern, which is Facebook ads, is already baked in with AI and personalization and monetization, right? So they were using that as their default sales tool. So again, if you think this stuff is futuristic, you don't know what's going on. This is already old news. This is happening since years. People are complaining about it by the millions, and they're not even realizing what they're complaining about is exactly these three developments. And as much as they hate it, they love it, because their entire experience online, right, has been inundated more and more about this stuff. And rather than use the internet less as an actual rejection, right, people are using the internet more because they're validating that they like this stuff. Otherwise, they would stop, right? Somebody comes to your house every day and punches you in the face. Are you going to keep opening the door, right? Or are you going to say, no, I'm going to change this, not let this jerk in my house, and maybe even punch him back at some point, unless I'm not a violent person in any way and I don't want to hit anybody, right? Like me. But most people probably would hit back at some point. They would change course. They would do something different, right? And that is exactly what's not happening with users online. They're not using less internet. They're not stopping to use social media. Yes, there is a natural pattern and a bell curve of usage, plateau, and slight descent, and then eventual total descent for things, for any platform, right? Who uses MySpace anymore, right? Who's going to use Facebook in 10 years? I don't know. But right now, people are using Facebook like crazy. And yes, maybe teenagers and 20-year-olds don't use it as much as they used to. Maybe it's more of an adult thing or even grandparents thing now. But guess what? That's who has all the disposable income. What are you wasting your time marketing to teenagers for? I mean, if you have that niche and you're marketing to teenagers for, great, but Facebook is probably not your platform. You probably want to be on something that is where they're at, right? And I'm not going to tell you all the names of them because that's a whole different segment. But you know where they are if you're marketing to them. It's not Facebook. Facebook is a by the way thing. It's a gorilla you can't ignore. And it may be a massive opportunity for you too. But your best chance of reaching your target market, if you're reaching younger audiences, is not Facebook. And we all know that. But if you're reaching anybody else, 25 and up, Facebook is a monster. Instagram is a monster. YouTube is a monster. Google is a monster. Not being on these things is shooting yourself in the head, not the foot. It's shooting yourself in the head. You're killing your business, right? Find a way to use those technologies to reach your users on those platforms, first and foremost. LinkedIn is awesome. I love LinkedIn. Plenty of brands I work with only market on LinkedIn because they reach exactly that crowd. B2B, professionals in the industry, whatever they're selling. If you're selling to consumers, If you're selling to large audiences of any kind, even if it's B2B, you got to be on those other platforms too. You got to find a way to make it work. And if none of them work for you after you've tested it, great, go find other platforms. But ignoring those elephants is shooting yourself in the head first and foremost. And is the same thing as ignoring all these technologies that we just talked about, because they're all using this, right? If you ignore AI, if you ignore the personalization aspect of it, if you ignore the monetization aspects of it, you're shooting yourself in the head. I don't think you want to do that, right? So that's it. That's, wow, a much longer lesson than I thought I'd talk about today, but I hope it's been at least useful and insightful, and that you learn something about different use cases of AI, different use cases of crypto marketing and regular e-commerce marketing, and how to get the best experience for yourself, your customers, and the best bottom line for your business. Till next time, take care.